Hello, my name is Fame and welcome back to another video. I do apologize for the gap in between this video and the last one, college and stuff, life, so I haven't been able to make a video, but I am now. In this video, I will be filling out a mouth washing spread. Don't worry if you have no idea what that game is, I'm here to enlighten you. Okay, here's the spread I'll be doing. I've been wanting to color this for so long. So we're finally gonna color it because I'm coming to the end of the sketchbook and I want to finish anything unfinished. I'm gonna start with this one. And not only will I be finishing that spread, but I'll be using some markers I requested off of TikTok shop. They are ShuttleArt dual tip paint markers. It's a 28 pastel set. Those are the colors. They don't tell you the colors in the pack, so don't ask me. I have used these markers already. I've made a couple pieces. I think I've done 3 pieces with these markers so far, and I really do love them. Honestly, 100%, I really do like them. They're quick drying, which thank the stars, okay? That's fabulous. I like the colors. Some of the colors are a little bit darker than the cap. I don't really care. If you care, then that might be a deal breaker for you. But I will say overall, my experience with these markers have been really, really well. One of my favorite things about these markers I didn't mention is that when it first dries, it feels a little gritty. You give it like a day or two, it just dries nice and smooth. I'm gonna show this was the first piece I did with the markers. I just wanted to test things out. This is Kieran Duffy from Red Dead Redemption. This is my baby. I love him so much. And it's very smooth. It doesn't have like a weird or gritty texture. It's kind of glossy to me, which is fine. And also I did this little curly drawing. I think this is how curly is gonna look in all my pieces because I got the pastel set, so I don't really have like a dark red for him, which is fine. Okay, this is what the marker looks like. I'm trying to hurry up. I'm trying to be quick with this intro, y'all. I'm sorry. This is what the marker looks like. It's ShuttleArt dual tip. It has a brush tip and a fine tip. I preferably like the brush tip. I will show you. I gotta be careful because I accidentally broke a couple of these guys yesterday. I didn't fully break them. I just, pulled too hard. That's what the brush tip looks like. It has a nice fine point. It is odorless. And apparently these markers are waterproof, so we'll see. And that's the fine tip. I have used the fine tip before. I prefer the brush tip though. I will probably see if I can get some more supplies from them, like these markers, because I really, really do love these. I think this might be one of my favorite art supplies right now. Just me. I'll also be using these brush markers. They're just like, black, gray, lighter gray, and then like the lightest gray. So the colors, don't mind the sticky stuff. It's sticky. So yeah, that's what I'll be using. I'll be talking about the game mouthwashing. Someone on TikTok gave me a question I could talk about, so I'll be talking about that. And maybe a couple other stuff if I have anything else to add on, which I probably do because I really love this game. Okay, enough of me rambling. This intro was long, but it's informative. So, let's get into this video. Hello, my babies. Hello. How have you guys been? Y'all been good? Great. So I do want to mention that I do not like how the Anya and Curly piece at the bottom corner came out. I end up covering Anya because I just really hate it. So I'm probably going to redraw that piece completely or do it digitally. I don't really know yet. But hey, we'll see. But with that out the way, let's get into the meat. Let's get into the juice. Let's get into the main part of this video. And that is going to be about the game mouthwashing. So if you've been under a rock and you have not heard of the game mouthwashing, let me be the first to give you a little bit of insight about this game, because I think this game is a masterpiece. It's so cool. I love the storytelling. But let me give you a little overview of the game. Mouthwashing is a psychological horror adventure game set on a dying space freighter. The game follows the story of 5 crew members: Jimmy the co-pilot, Curly the captain, Anya the nurse, Daisuke the intern, and Swansea the grumpy technician. The game follows the story of the crew members stranded in space after a mysterious crash. As they struggle to survive, they descend into madness and paranoia, questioning their own sanity and the reality around them. The game features a non-linear narrative, immersive storytelling, and psychological scares. The story is told through the eyes of two main characters, Jimmy and Curly. What makes this game so unique is that as you play as Jimmy, you play in the present, after the crash, and when you play as Curly, you play in the past, before the crash. What at first seems like a normal game turns out to be something more. As you play the game the first time, you have the same perspectives and beliefs as Jimmy, but as you play throughout the game or during your second playthrough, you start to realize that Jimmy is an unreliable narrator. The mysterious crash was caused by him, and after that you see him spiral into madness. You play through his hallucinations, you watch him make dumb decisions and treat the others as if they are less than him. You learn other dark secrets about our co-pilot Jimmy. And finally, when you reach the game's end, you take responsibility in the form of self-sacrifice. This game is a unique and incredible piece of work, and I highly recommend you not only watch other people play the game, but get a chance to play the game yourself. I could ramble on for hours about this game, my perspective of it, how I view the characters, but if I did, this video would be longer than it needs to be. So, just for this video, I will be downing it to, I think, 2 topics and, a couple side notes. The first point I want to talk about is a question I got from a follower of mine. The question I got was, whose death affected you most in the game? Now, like many people, some would say Anya, and I do agree, her death was heartbreaking. Everyone's death in the game was heartbreaking to me. But I am gonna say that Jimmy's death affected me the most, and not for the reason you might think. I think Jimmy's death was by far one of the most selfish things Jimmy could have done. Throughout the entire game, we believe that Jimmy is in the right, but once we reach the end of the game, we start to realize that Jimmy is in fact a horrible person. When we play as Curly, we don't see that because Curly sees Jimmy as a friend. But as we the players watch all the actions unfold, we start to realize that Jimmy is not what he claims to be. Jimmy hurts everyone on the Topar, whether physically or emotionally. He treats Anya as if she isn't human. He talks Daisuke into going into the vent knowing the risk. He knocks Swanson out, then proceeds to kill him, all because he thinks he wants to take the cryopod for himself. As you play through Jimmy's hallucination, he takes responsibilities for his actions. In reality, he doesn't take much responsibility. He blames Curly for the reason he did what he did to Anya because Curly was captain and he was supposed to make sure everything was okay. He constantly puts the crew through hell, all because he wants to fix something and he chooses the worst possible way to quote-unquote fix it. In the end, when Jimmy puts Curly into the cryostasis pod, he says he's taking responsibility. He fixed it, and then he proceeds to off himself. Jimmy felt as though he was some sort of hero for sacrificing himself in the end. He hurt and made everyone on that ship practically miserable, then took himself out as though it would make up for everything he's done, as if it would paint him in the light of being a hero. Every bad thing Jimmy does, he believes it's just a mistake and he can fix it. Jimmy's self-sacrifice at the end affects me the most because he believes that doing this will somehow make up for everything he's ever done. In times of desperation, Jimmy chooses the worst possible outcome to solve a problem. He crashes the ship so he can somehow escape the consequences of getting Anya pregnant without her consent. Jimmy takes drastic actions for the simplest of problems. Problems where simply talking to someone could fix things. He tries so desperately to paint himself as a hero, but at the end of the day, he is far from it. He is the reason the Topar crew is in shambles. His desperation to be a good person led to the demise of not only himself, but also the other members of the Topar crew, excluding Curly. Now that I'm done talking about Jumbotron, I would also like to talk about Curly. I, like maybe a couple other people in the Mouthwashing fandom, cannot form a solid opinion about him. He's a well-written character like the others, but I find myself being more interested in him. Some people in the fandom who don't play the game or don't fully understand the game may simply label Curly as a bad man and he didn't care for Anya. He isn't a perfect man, far from it, but I do believe he did care about Anya. He showed concern towards her when he and her were in the cockpit. He cared about everyone on the ship, and that was clear from his character. But he did fall short. Curly believed that Jimmy could be and was deep down a good person. He and Jimmy were friends for many years before joining the crew, so it makes sense. He believes that he knows what kind of person Jimmy is, but he doesn't. He was blinded by the fact that Jimmy can be a good person, that he fails to realize that Jimmy isn't a good person and won't ever be. Not only that, but when he goes to confront Jimmy about what Anya just told him, Jimmy blames Curly. He says, and I quote, "You were supposed to be the one who had everything under control. You said so yourself. This ship, this crew, everything that happened here. This was your responsibility, Captain." Instead of Jimmy taking responsibility for his terrible actions, he blames Curly. This isn't the first time Jimmy's done something like this too. For the birthday party they threw for Curly, Jimmy took Curly's words out of context and painted him in a bad light and made him seem like he was a terrible captain and he didn't care for anybody else. Curly, once again, let Jimmy's words affect him. He didn't do anything, and when he finally decided to do something, it was too late. Curly could have been a better man. He could have done more, but in the end, he fell short. His focus on the bigger picture led him to not do all the good he could have and should have done. It is also implied that Anya does not hate Curly for his lack of actions. In the wiki, it states that Anya believes that one's worst moments doesn't turn them into monsters. She still cares for Curly even with the lack of proper medical supplies. When Jimmy thinks they should stop giving him pills, she still wants to give them to him. Even after everything she's been through, even after confiding in Curly just for nothing to happen, she still takes care of him. She holds no visible grudge against him. Before I, stop talking and let the rest of this video play, there's something else I want to talk about because it's something I've been seeing in this fandom. Not like a lot, but I don't like how much I'm seeing it. When it comes to the fandom of this game, I've been seeing a lot of things. Funny content. I love those little VR videos. I think those are funny. Pieces of art, creative edits, and cosplays. But another thing I also come across is mischaracterization, gross ships, Anya jokes, people dehumanizing Curly, and just straight up disgusting takes. When it comes to a game like Mouthwashing, I think any shipping, aside from OCX canon, you guys go crazy, is disgusting. Point blank period. It'll either be a pro ship or just straight up disgusting. Like Anyone and Jimmy or Swanson x Daisuke. I saw someone shipping post crash Anya and after she offed herself Anya. Oh my god. Genuinely, what is wrong with y'all? That is disgusting. That is disgusting. Ew. Not only that, but I think for a game like Mouthwashing, you need to watch the game. You need to know the media you're about to take a take on. And I think my point can apply to any fandom. You need to know the media you're about to get into. You cannot watch 2 or 3 edits and then listen to someone else talk about the game to fully understand it. I still don't understand everything about Mouthwashing, and I've seen maybe 6 gameplays of it. That game is a very complex game, and you will miss things your first playthrough and your second playthrough. So please, if you are a part of this fandom, please watch gameplay. Please read the wiki, just know what you're getting into. This game is a work of art, and like I said before, you cannot watch it one time and expect to understand every single thing about it. When you make jokes about Anya's SA, or you make a Everyone Survives AU and you make her keep the baby, or you straight up dehumanize Curly, it's clear you haven't given any time to really understand this game. I recommend you watch people play it or you play the game yourself. Hearing people talk about the game is great, but experiencing the game for yourself is worth it, and I think it is very important if you want to engage in the Mouthwashing fandom. So while I was painting this, I guess, my phone died. So it's maybe 2-3 days after I did these two. Whoops. And I'm gonna get started on this one. Okay, so here is the spread so far. I know Anya looks weird. I wanted to go for like a purple and blue color scheme for this one. I don't know why. And unfortunately, I only have 3 markers, so she does look a little bit weird. I kept messing up her skin color and whatnot. But with some line art, hopefully I can fix how that looks. But yeah, here's what we got, and now onto some line art. So like I said, I absolutely hated how Anya and Curly came out, so I don't show me lining it here. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed me talking about the game, and if you are interested in hearing me talk about the game some more, maybe I'll make another mouthwashing video. Who knows? But yeah, thank you guys so much, and we're almost at 100 subscribers. That's so amazing. Thank you guys so much for the support. I love you guys so much. Hope you're having a good day or night, and yeah, that's enough of me yapping.